Yo, what's up, guys? So we got ourselves some Dallas Cowboy news in the middle of May, guys, and it's some pretty big news, of course. The Cowboys have traded for wide receiver George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Also, the Cowboys are going to be getting a 2027 sixth-round pick, trading it for a 2026 third-rounder and a 2027 fifth-rounder. Now, guys, what can I say about this move by the Dallas Cowboys? This was a necessary move by the Cowboys, of course, guys. The Cowboys absolutely needed to get themselves another wide receiver. Obviously, the NFL draft was a week and a half ago. You know, the Cowboys were obviously looking at a guy like Teteroa McMillan out of Arizona, who unfortunately fell 8 to the Carolina Panthers. So the Cowboys, unfortunately, did not draft the wide receiver in the draft. And obviously, it left us fans a little bit wondering who are the Cowboys going to throw the football to? Who's Dak Prescott going to throw the football to, of course? And then obviously now, the Cowboys have gotten their man in George Pickens. And listen, guys, George Pickens is only 24 years old. He's got elite talent. Listen, I know there's a lot of chatter about his attitude and how he's going to cause problems in the locker room. But you know what? This kid here, man, if the Cowboys, get him on the right track, make sure that he's not causing too many issues and they give him the football, I don't see why George Pickens cannot be a key asset for this Dallas Cowboys offense, guys. Pickens last year, 900 yards, 3 touchdowns, not as many touchdowns as I like to see, obviously. But when it came to deep threats, guys, deep targets, Pickens was number 1 in receiver percentage. He was number 1 in yards, number 1 in catches. So this guy here can do what it takes to get down the field, open up the field for CeeDee Lamb, Kervontae Turpin, Jake Ferguson. You know what I mean, guys? So obviously now, there's obviously an issue that the running back is probably the weakest point of the offense. Now, I like what the Cowboys did at the draft, drafting a couple running backs, especially like the draft pick they got in Jaden Blue from Texas. So I think he'll really help the Cowboys. If the Cowboys went and traded for another guy, like maybe a guy like Breece Hall that I've been hearing around, there's obviously Jerry Jones has been saying that they're going to make another move, trading for a guy for Pickens. Now they're going to try to maybe get another guy. So those are obviously positive things to hear, guys. But with CeeDee Lamb now and George Pickens, guys, they are 2 very dynamic wide receivers that give Dak Prescott options now. It makes the Cowboys offense, like I said, way more open. They can give Pickens the ball, so they give guys like CeeDee Lamb more options to move different routes, play in the slot. There's a lot of opportunities now for this Dallas Cowboys team. And I also like what they did in the draft, guys. Like I said, I know they didn't draft the wide receiver, but I like what they did drafting Tyler Booker at 12. You drafted Donovan Ezeraku. You drafted Siobhan Ravel, who's got a lot of length and size as a cornerback. Ezeraku was a really good defensive end who got a lot of sacks. So some really good additions for the Cowboys in the draft, guys. I like the Pickens grab as well, but obviously George Pickens alone is not going to turn this Dallas Cowboys team into a Super Bowl contender. Of course, obviously this makes the Cowboys a way better team. Pickens adds obviously another dynamic piece to the offense, gives Dak Prescott more options like I've been saying. So the question is now how Schottenheimer's going to run his offense. How will George Pickens acclimatize to this team? Obviously, this is a great sign for the Cowboys. You get another weapon, but does it cover up all the cracks in this team? Obviously not. There's a lot of question marks still going into the season, but the Cowboys had a great draft. You get another good wide receiver into this team, guys. If the Cowboys maybe go and get another running back, maybe help the running backs by committee thing. Obviously, you got, like I mentioned, Jalen Blue. You obviously got Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams. So there's going to be another running back by committee situation, obviously, going into the new season, guys. But listen, I'm not naive. The Cowboys, we know what they are, guys. We know that they got to go out there and prove it to us on the field. There's no more giving them the benefit of the doubt. Jerry Jones drives us nuts, but he has done some good things in this offseason so far in the draft, trading for Pickens. He's making moves, trying to get the fan base back on his side. It's going to take a lot more than that. They're going to have to win football games, and especially not regular season football games, but playoff football games, guys. We all know that matters most. This is a great move by the Cowboys, but we still got great teams in our division. Obviously, Eagles, Commanders. Those are 2 teams that I think are a little bit above the Cowboys still talent-wise. The Cowboys are great. They still got a lot of talent, but team-wise, those 2 teams are probably a little bit more stronger, of course, in certain positions. I still think the Cowboys got to improve in some positions, but they made themselves a lot better yesterday with the addition of George Pickens. Guys, listen, guys, Pickens averaged 18 yards per reception. That is absolutely massive for the Cowboys, guys. You know, for CeeDee Lamb specifically, you know, the guy was always getting targeted. We always saw CeeDee Lamb was on an island, and CeeDee Lamb didn't even play the last few games of the season. The guy over at 1,000 yards. Imagine if we get Pickens and CeeDee Lamb at 1,000 yards each. It's great to hear. It's great to see possibly, but will the product on the field get the results? That will be the biggest question mark, guys. Can Tyler Booker make an impact on the offensive line now that Zach Martin has retired? You know, they also got guys like Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, who was our first-round pick last year. Can these guys take a step forward and develop? Can Cooper Beebe take a step forward? I think he had a really good rookie year. The question is, can the Cowboys make more additions? Can they make this team better in free agency or, through trades? So we'll see what happens, guys. I like the moves that the Cowboys made in the draft. I like the acquisition of George Pickens, despite the fact that it is a bit of a risk, that he's on the final year of his rookie deal, guys. I understand. What are you going to do? You're going to pay George Pickens? Probably not. The Cowboys most likely will franchise tag him a couple years, prolong the process maybe, and then we'll see what happens down the line, guys. But this was a good move. Helped the Cowboys offensively dramatically, guys. So I like the move. We'll see what happens down the road. We'll see if the Cowboys have any more moves up their sleeves. I would preferably for them to go get a veteran running back, make this team a lot better, guys, on the offense. You know, makes it more balanced, gives Dak Prescott more options, but this is a very good move, guys, for the team. And one more thing, guys, with George Pickens, guys. Now that George Pickens is a Dallas Cowboys, you go in the Dallas Cowboys shop, guys, and you see all the shiesties are sold out. Well, I'll tell you guys right now, get your shiesties ready, guys, because George Pickens is a Dallas Cowboy. But, guys, that's it for this video today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, click like if you like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Cowboys, go, guys. And remember, if you do not watch sports, share more. Ciao, guys.